Hey everybody, Zach here from SubItUp, and today we'll be doing a demonstration of our event-based scheduling platform. Your organization would be a candidate for our event-based scheduling platform if you have lots of one-off events. There's no regularity to your schedule. You have multiple different times and dates that you need people for, but it changes every week, every day, every month. Things are just always different, and you need to find staff who are able to work these shifts on a one-off basis. We commonly see this used with people who run sporting events, whether that's arenas or teams with their irregular schedules. We see it a lot with venues, whether it's a concert venue or a student union or something like that that has one-off shows or things that they need a staff for. Anybody who has a multitude of different events at differing times on differing days of the week throughout the year is a candidate for event scheduling system. We're going to go over the different ways to put events on the calendar and make them and how easy that is, as well as how do we get availability and have staff actually sign up for those shifts. If you haven't already either talked to somebody from our team or watched some of our other videos or gone through a demo going over regular scheduling, kind of how the system can be set up, you can definitely do that and reach out to our team. We're going to be talking a lot today about different positions. So you'll see in the top left, I have a bunch of different positions that I oversee. These are going to be different things that you guys need to schedule for, whether that's ushers or concession stand workers or ticket takers or AV staff, anything like that. Those are going to be different positions. So when I go through and talk about positions, that's what I'm talking about. A couple steps that we need to do in order to get our event system set up and working the way we want. You will need to create events. So we'll need to get those events created into the system. And then we'll have to, if you would like to, you can get staff availability. We'll go over what that looks like. And then we'll go over actually scheduling your staff and getting them onto the system. There is another popular way people use events, and that is just having people sign up for events. And we'll go over that too. First, let's talk about getting events into the system. Now, we do have an import area over here where it says import event. If you would like, you'd be able to go in and fill out a spreadsheet. There's a downloadable template that we have right here. You can download that, fill out the columns, and upload that. That's one easy way to get them all in. Another easy way to get them all in is just to start creating one and then duplicating from there. So there is a create event wizard here that will walk you through different steps in order to get this event created. So let's go through that now. So when you're creating an event, you'd be able to come in here and type in, let's say this is a basketball game. And if you're an athletic operation, I recommend putting maybe who they're playing to signify what basketball game that is. So I'll say basketball versus Ohio State. And then if you'd like to put in an event description, ESPN, night game, anything you want there, you can put in that description. Staff who are assigned that event will be able to see this. Now, if you are using SubItUp for our time clock or some of our other advanced reporting features that go into expense codes with GL codes, pay codes, things like that, you'd be able to enter in which codes go to this event. If you don't, you just hit next step and skip it. Also for reporting, you can search by different types of event, like if you had a type that was called basketball games, right? And then there's even another item here called genre, which is a subset of type. So if it's like basketball game is the type and then genre is conference game or divisional game or something like that, so that when you're pulling reports, you'd be able to choose, I just want to see my costs, my labor costs for conference games for basketball this year. You'd be able to do that. You can select those here. But for this demo, I'm just going to skip through these. Then we're putting in the event start and end date. Here we're putting in the actual time the event starts. So let's say this event's going to be on the 20th and it's going to start at 7 p.m. and it's going to end also right on the 20th at 9 p.m. There is the option to create multi-day events. If you have a big tournament or a festival that happens 3 times, there's different names that you kind of have for the festival of different headliners or something like that. You can create 3 different kind of days within the same event to name. So in this case, I'm just doing one event. Here's where you can name the different days. So if you had a 3-day event, you'd be able to go down and say, oh, the first headliner is, whatever act it is, and the second headliner is whatever that act is. Next up's the location. Your staff will be able to see what the location is for this event. So I'm just going to choose arena here, but if you have these locations that are preloaded, you'd be able to pick whichever one this event happens at. And then adding positions. So this is super important. This is selecting which positions and what times within those positions you need people. So for basketball versus Ohio State, I'm going to hit add position here. And let's say I'm just going to add in front desk as my position, but you can add more, right? If I wanted to add some different positions in here, I absolutely can. And then I'm going to hit times. So within the times, it's going to default you to the actual event start and end time. But most likely, you're going to need to have your staff show up a little before the event starts and probably stay a little later. And this is where you can choose that. So for my front desk, I need them there at, let's say, 6:15, and they need to stay till about 9:30. And then I tell the system how many shifts do I need. Let's say I need 4 of them, right? If I want to make sure I include that description as the shift note for the staff, I can check that box and they'll all see that. And then I hit add this shift. Okay, so this is kind of how you can add it. If I need to add in more shifts for fitness attendant, I can do that. When I'm done with this position, I hit save and continue. Moves on to the next one. Now we're into front desk, right? Let's say front desk, I actually need 2 different times, 2 different sets of shifts. So I need somebody from 5 until, let's say, 8. And then I need 2 people here. I want to use the event description. And then the next one over, I'll be able to say, oh, but the second shift, I need people from 8 until 11. I need 2 people from that shift. So you can kind of set different times here for the shifts within a single event if you need to. Hit save and continue, and we're just going to review, make sure all this looks good, and then we hit create event. Okay, this event has now been created. Now, let's say you're an athletic organization, and you have multiple basketball games throughout the year that have the same exact needs. You'd be able to go into the event calendar. And when you're on the event calendar, you can choose this event. It's going to tell you all the details for this event. You're going to be able to come in. If I click on available shifts, I can see the different shifts I have. I can sort it by start time if I want to. I can really kind of get in the nitty gritty here. And then if I have more basketball games that have the same structure, I just hit duplicate. And then maybe there's another game, but it's versus Penn State. And it's not the 20th, but it's on the 27th. And let's say the time is the same. I just hit duplicate shifts. I hit duplicate. This will now be duplicated. And it's everything within that Penn State or that Ohio State game is now duplicated for the Penn State game. Timing's the same and everything like that. If you duplicate again and you change a time, let's say you have a day game on a Sunday or something like that, the offset of the shifts follows. So that shift we had at 6:15 for the 7 o'clock game, if you change the event time to 1 o'clock, that would be a 12:15 shift, right? Everything happens automatically. If something happens and your game time changes, so we have, basketball versus Penn State here is a 7 o'clock game, but something happens, something's changed. I can then go into the event, hit edit event details, and down at the bottom here is a button that says change event time. And I can go ahead and change. No, this game's actually starting at 6 now. It's going to end at 8. And then it's going to ask me, what do I want to do with the shifts? I want to auto update them. This is going to automatically update them an hour earlier since the event time moved an hour earlier. And if you already have staff that are scheduled, you just hit notify staff of change and hit update, right? So I'll go ahead and do that. And that just updated all of my shifts to match the change in the event time. Okay, after we've created our shifts for the different events that we have for whatever time frame I want to create them for, now it's time to actually get staff to work. Now, there's 2 really popular ways of actually scheduling our staff within events. The first way is just publishing the events, and then staff can see those shifts and can go actually pick them up. So if I wanted to do that, if I just wanted to publish all these shifts, I could go to whatever event I want to publish, hit this publish status button here, change it to publish all. I can even hit notify. That will notify them immediately when I hit publish and publish shifts. And these shifts that are listed here are going to be sent off and they're going to be published for staff to see and pick up. Now you'll see after I publish this Penn State game, it is now the published status has changed to published, which means staff can now go in and pick up that shift. There are 2 separate ways that we can do this. Under setup and position settings, there is an option here called moderation. What moderation means is if this box is checked, then a manager will approve those pickups. So when staff go in and they see the available shift that they can work and they want to work that game, they hit add. At that point, it's then held for a manager to review. So they don't get it immediately, right? Then a manager would see that add under pending requests here and would be able to approve that shift pickup, and that you could have 8 people request a shift and you only need 4. You as a manager would then choose which 4 get those shifts. Or you can turn moderation off. And if you turn moderation off, it's first come, first serve. The first employee that hits add is going to get that shift. So if you trust all your staff, you don't really care who works what, just somebody works them, this is the option for you. You would hit add. They'd be able to go ahead and grab those shifts immediately as long as they're not going over their max hours. So you are able to set a max hour limit so they don't go into overtime or break any institutional rules that you have. They won't be able to go over that amount. But as long as they're not going over that amount, they hit add and it's theirs first come, first serve. Now, this isn't the only way to do things, however. If you don't want to have them actually see the shifts and request them, what you could do instead is actually collect availability. So collecting availability is different than them seeing the shifts and saying, I want to work it and requesting it. This is them just telling you that they're available in general, and then you'll be able to make the decision on who works what. So how you do this is under events. You're going to go to availability, and you're going to hit this blue button up here that says create request for availability. Here you're going to put in the name of the request. So let's say this was our August events. A lot of people do this on a month-by-month basis. So that's something that they'll be able to, you'll be able to select all the events in a given month. You'll select the start date. This is when staff can actually start logging in and saying what they're available for. And the end date. This is when that survey should close. So at this point, that survey will be closed. Staff can no longer put in their availability. And you can put in some instructions. Please let me know what shifts, events you can work. Then you can choose if you want to allow messages. Do you allow staff to come in and give you more context over their choices of availability? If you do, you're going to need to choose who's going to receive those messages as a manager. And then a confirmation pop-up. Do you require the employee to say, hey, I can work anything that I say I'm available for? That's all it is. They have to hit I agree. And that way, if they say they're available and you schedule them, they did have a confirmation that they agreed to working those shifts. Next step from here, you'll choose your event date range. So I'm just going to search August, and you can choose certain specific events if you want, or I can click this top one and just choose everything in this date range. Next step from here, it's going to ask you availability collection. How do you want to collect availability? And there's different ways you can do this. The most general way to do this is by event. They are just going to see the event name, the event start and end time. That's it, and they're going to choose yes or no. If they choose yes, they are available for all the shifts within that event that they are a part of, all the positions that they're a part of. There is no option for them to choose only the early or late shift or only this position and not that position. It's just, yes, I'm available for it all. The most granular is by daytime position. In this one, they're going to see the different shift blocks, different shift times, even the different positions if they're a part of multiple positions. And they can hand select, I can only do the early shift, I can only do the late shift, I can only work in this position, not this position. They're going to be able to get pretty granular with it. For this example, I'm going to choose that one. And then I just hit create request for availability. And at this point, that is out there. If I go to view all requests, I'm actually able to then go into this survey and see now my list of events that I have. I can see who submitted and confirmed this. And if I want to send a notice to all staff that there's a new survey out, I hit the send to all staff button, and that will send them a message that lets them know to go put in availability. I've now logged in as an employee, so you can see what it looks like for them and what they actually see when they're either doing the pickup shift method or if they're doing the availability method. Everything that you see here, they are able to do on the web browser or their mobile app. If they download the SubItUp app and log in, they can do everything that you're about to see through their mobile app, and that is probably where they will do it. For the pickup shift method, they'll be able to just come down and see the different shifts that we have. As you can see, I'm a part of both the fitness attendant and front desk position, so I would see what my times are listed for here. You'll see my times, the early shift and late shift for front desk, and that bigger shift for fitness attendant. If I want one of them, I would just click on it and hit add. Now, I did have manager approvals on, so this is a pending add, and it's going to wait for a manager to actually approve it before it actually gets added to my calendar, but this is how easy it is for them to request it. For the availability option, if I go over here to event availability, you'll see our the different surveys that I have. Right now, I just have the one that I've just created. We go into it. Here's that confirmation box that says, yep, if you say you're available and I schedule you, you're going to work. And then from here, because I chose that by daytime position, you'll see it has the name of the event, the date, the location, the description of the event is all there. And I'm able to go in and say, yeah, I can do fitness attendant for this one, but I can only do front desk early for this one against Penn State. Now, don't get too confused because most people would not do the pickup method and this availability method. I'm just showing you both because you'll have options on how you want to do things. Usually you're going to choose one lane or the other. Then after that, I can type in anything I want. I hit submit availability, and that has been collected and entered. I've navigated now back to the manager side. I'm going to show you what it looks like to approve one of those pending shift pickups. You'll see on the left-hand side under schedule, you'll see pending requests. There'll be a little number there indicating I have a request now. You'll also be notified within your manager settings. You can choose if you'd like to be notified about these. And I can hit this little, I see there's an available shift. There's an ad for the game against Penn State. If I hit the little pencil here, it's going to show me who's trying to add it, what time they added it on, if you approve this shift, how many hours per day and week would they have, and it goes to red if it would put them over their max hours. And then I hit approve. And that's it. It would be, that's now approved for Zach Watson, and that shift is made. For the event availability side, under events, back to availability, you're going to see that I can go into this availability now. You'll see Zach has now submitted and confirmed this availability. Once this closes, so once the availability here, I'm going to go ahead and adjust these dates so it's actually closed now. Once this is closed, I can choose now either to auto-assign the events, which if I hit this button, I'll be able to see the different things I want to assign. I can even drag and drop the priority order of what I wanted to assign, which position, which shifts, everything like that. Then I'm going to hit auto-assign shifts, and it's going to auto-assign folks that said they were available into these shifts. If I don't want to do that, if I want to hand select who is working which shifts, I can absolutely do that. There's under the calendar page over here, there is a list of all the shifts that we have, and if I wanted to add somebody into one, I hit the little pencil over here, and it will tell me who's available and who said they were unavailable. So I can hand select if I want. If I want to choose somebody, put them into the shift, I can absolutely do that. This was a quick overview of our event scheduling platform, different ways to use it. If you have any questions or this demo did prompt additional questions or need further clarification on how you all do things, reach out to our team. Let us know. Be happy to answer any of those questions that you have. Thanks so much.